So now, very warm and official welcome to all of you for our third public meeting of this year. We are very pleased to welcome you and to welcome such a lot of observers all around the world, and we are very happy that you're so much interested in our work. As usual, we would like to inform you about the current work of the RSC, and as in the last meetings, this now has become a bit of a tradition. Today, we would like to give you an insight into the work of an RDA community. But first of all, I would like to give you the usual organizational information. As always, we have to manage the time accordingly to our agenda, and so please understand that perhaps that we may not be able to consider all contributions for this reason if the time will run out. For all topics, the RSC members will speak first and will start the discussion, and afterwards we welcome questions and comments from the observers. And if you would like to speak, we would appreciate if you give us your name and perhaps your affiliation. We ask you all as observers to turn off the sound and the camera during the meeting. Please raise your virtual hand if you wish to speak, and if you can, please turn on your camera if it's possible. Furthermore, we would like to ask you not to distribute any content of the meeting via social media for the time being. And we will now start with a short round of introductions of the RSC members. And I will have a look around on my screen, and I think RSC members, I would like to ask to have their cameras on. And Jamie, please, can you start?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm James Hennelly. I am the director of RDA Toolkit.
Thank you. And perhaps Charlotte can go ahead.
Tēnā koutou katoa. I'm Charlotte Christensen. I work at the National Library of New Zealand, Te Puna Mātauranga o Aotearoa, and I am the Oceania representative to the RSC.
Thank you, Charlotte. And Jessica, next on my screen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jessica Grigorski. I'm the RDA Examples Editor and Chair of the Examples Working Group, and I am Rare Materials Metadata Librarian at Northwestern University in the United States.
Thank you, Jessica. And Felipe, please.
Yes. Good morning. I am Felipe Martinez. I am representative from the Latin American and the Caribbean region, the new member, and I work at the National Autonomous University of Mexico, like cataloging full professor.
Thank you, Felipe, and we are so happy to have you here with us and to welcome you in the round. And so we have another region representative from this big and important community from Latin America and the Caribbean. So we are very happy to have you here for the first time.
Thank you.
Next on my screen is Elisa.
Hello, my name is Elisa C. I am the Education and Orientation Officer on the committee, and I'm joining this call from the University of Toronto, where I work as a metadata librarian.
Thank you, Elisa. And Szabolcs.
Hello, good evening from Hungary. I'm Szabolcs Dancs, and I'm the Translations Team Liaison Officer. I have been holding these positions for 3 years. In addition, I'm the head of Office for Library Standards in the Hungarian National Széchenyi Library, and also I'm the editor-in-chief of a library journal in Hungary. Thank you.
Thank you, Szabolcs. And Bob is next.
Hi, I'm Bob Maxwell from Brigham Young University in Utah, United States, and I am the North American representative to the RDA Steering Committee.
Thank you. We can go ahead with Chris, please.
Hi, I'm Bob Maxwell from Brigham Young University in Utah, United States, and I am the North American representative to the RDA Steering Committee.
Thank
Hi, I'm Chris Holden. I'm the Technical Team Liaison Officer, and I'm coming to you from the Music Division of the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
You and then Ahava, please.
Erev Tov miYerushalayim. I'm Ahava Cohen, the Europe representative, and I'm the head of the cataloging section at the National Library of Israel.
And Colleen.
Hello, I'm Colleen Barbas. I am the American Library Association's representative as a copyright holder of RDA, currently serving as the chair of the RDA board. And I am joining today from the American Library Association, where I serve as the librarian and archivist.
And I'm missing on my screen. Yeah, here she is. Charlene, please.
Charlene Chow. I'm the wider community engagement officer. I work at New York University as the head of knowledge access.
Thank you, Charlene. And I myself, I'm the actual RSC chair. I'm coming from Germany. Guten Abend. Herzlich willkommen. And we're happy to have you all here. And I think we just can jump in and start with our agenda. And as I announced before, we will have a presentation of the implementation of official RDA in the user community. And today we are very happy to have Dr. Michalis Gerolimos here with us, who can give us an insight of what they did, what they achieved in the National Library of Greece. Michalis is head of the cataloging department. Sorry? Oh, that's the sound here. Okay. So sorry, Michalis, for interrupting. We have a bit of
10:55. Yes, and microphone is open, but that's okay.
Yeah, there is a mic open from somebody who is named RSC secretary. Now I think it's no, it's not. No, so please, whoever you, yes, now it is. Now it is. Thank you for doing this. And if you miss, if you miss our real RSC secretary, and well, she will not be able to attend us today, but she will minute as always according to the recording. So everything will be minutes. There will be the minutes afterwards on the RSC website and published, so you will not miss anything. So, Michalis, we are very happy to have you here, and you can tell us what you did at the National Library of Greece together with some of your colleagues. And so, please, Michalis, thank you for coming late in the evening, and we will be happy to hear about your project.
Okay, the honor is all mine. Thank you very much for the invitation. Just give me a couple of minutes to adjust everything, because this is my first time trying to share my screen and move things around. I don't know how to use how to put this one.
We can see the slides, Michalis, but they are a bit too big for the time being, so we cannot see the whole slide. But if you just, yeah, now. It is.
Okay,
now,
because I'm trying to move fine. Okay, so
no,
yeah,
it's fine. Yeah.
Is everything clear now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, fine. We can hear you very clearly. We can see your slides.
Okay, because I'm a little bit worried about my connectivity and my video streaming, but if something comes up, please let me know. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your kind. Can I start?
Yeah, please.
Thank you. Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for the kind invitation to contribute to the RDA Steering Committee's effort in promoting the adoption of RDA across the library community. This is actually a special moment for us, as it marks 3 years of implementing the official RDA at the National Library of Greece, or as you will hear me say, NLG a lot of times. In this presentation, we aim to share the planning, the goals, and the outcomes of this journey. Again, sorry, I'm trying to see. Okay, this is the screen of people comes. where I should be sharing
Still
things.
have seen your first screen, your first
Yeah,
slide.
because can you tell me how I can? Okay, I think I
Sometimes you
found.
just have to click on the slide and then
Okay,
it
now
moves.
I think I found it now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now you see
yeah,
the second,
yeah.
right?
Fine, fine.
Okay, sorry, this is my first time using Zoom like
Don't
this.
worry.
Anyway,
Don't worry.
we will begin with the roadmap that led us to adopt RDA. The preparation phase lasted nearly 2 years and was largely a period of debate and discussion. The central focus was how the National Library of Greece, NLG, could make its linked data ready in anticipation of the shift towards entity-based cataloging. During this time, we identified that a continuing use of Unimark, at least that was for us, no harm is intended, the continued use of Unimark as a communication format would hinder any meaningful progress in that direction. We also recognized that while we could handle the necessary changes or modifications to standards internally, the development of supporting systems would need to be outsourced. Now, as you can see, the years from 2020 to 22 were both productive and transformative for the National Library of Greece. Although the Unimark to Mark 21 project was the first one to be launched, it was our strategic decision in 2019 to develop a linked data system that really set everything in motion. That foundational choice paved the way for all three major projects you see in your screen, and ultimately led to our adoption of the official RDA. Now, the implementation of RDA was the first step in this sequencing, the final step, sorry, in this sequencing, with its initial phase lasting around 6 months for us. Today, RDA, of course, is no longer viewed as a project. It's a fully integrated into our day-to-day cataloging operations, and we are actively expanding its application across additional entities. Here, I would like to take a moment to recognize the exceptional dedication of my colleagues at the cataloging department in the National Library of Greece. They managed to carry out 3 very demanding projects, often in parallel, with professionalism and persistence, and their contribution has been fundamental to our progress. Now, since we are now 3 years in, we can now summarize. We are actually marking 3 years since we started using the official RDA. And we can now summarize the challenges we faced during this time. First, at the beginning, we had limited knowledge of what is LRM, right? What is their concept? So we had to build our understanding from the ground up. Second, shifting to entity-based cataloging required a major mindset change from record to entity-centric thinking. Also, we have a very small team, only 10 catalogers work at the National Library of Greece in the Department of Cataloging. And this posed some challenges in capacity, but also gave us flexibility to adapt quickly. Meanwhile, we had to maintain delivery of the national bibliography while updating policies and rules. Lastly, we faced a lack of tools to support the new approach, which of course required extra effort and workarounds from our side. Now, to honor the incredible work done by the RDA community during the 3-year project, we represent here today our own 3-year framework for implementing the official RDA at the National Library of Greece. Our own 3 Rs are research, rollout, and refine. So let's take a closer look at how we applied each of these steps in our journey to adopt the official RDA. In step 1, research, we started by selecting our first entity, which for us was person. It was an obvious choice because we are a national library. Then we thoroughly reviewed the official RDA, the legacy Agglomerica cataloging rules, and in-house practices that had evolved over time. To do this effectively, we relied on a small core team, which consisted of an official RDA expert, an original RDA expert, and an expert in the Agglomerican cataloging rules. Next, we wrote guidelines in Greek, not just as a translation of the official RDA, but as a practical policy-aligned adaptations of RDA supported by links to the toolkit. Real-life examples were essential in making the rules tangible, and this stage concluded with the creation of a pragmatic application profile tailored to our 10-member cataloging team. The second phase, the rollout phase, or what we often call it the trial and error stage, began with implementing the application profile in our ILS, in our integrated library system. At the National Library of Greece, we use Koha, which is an open source system, and that gives us flexibility to make changes and adapt its functionalities to meet our needs. I'll share an example of this later in the presentation. Now, once the system is ready, we notify the cataloging team and we begin real-world application. Feedback at this point is, of course, key. It helps us catch any issues early and identify and correct any oversights or inconsistencies. We then hold training sessions with a full team, followed by ongoing informal and retraining, and of course, practice deepens our understanding. By the end of this stage, cataloging the new entity transitions from a project to part of our everyday workflow. The refined stage of our 3R policy is just as important as the previous one for us. At the National Library of Greece, we place a strong emphasis on consistency, aiming to ensure that mistakes are minimized and that our records are complete and reliable. Our goal is to produce records that any type of library can reuse directly without the need for adaptations or corrections, only adding additional information if desired. Quality control plays a central role in these states. It involves batch editing and enriching records either before or after the traditional bibliographic description. For example, we pre-populate the fields 334 to 338 for bibliographic records, and catalogers simply validate the information rather than inputting it from scratch. We also run regular checks for consistency and accuracy. Every 2 weeks, we export all newly created person entities and review critical fields. For instance, we verify that the 075 field is properly coded or that the 046 contains 4-digit date values were expected to be. To support both consistency and time saving, we have also introduced shared responsibility between catalogers and system librarians. For example, catalogers now input only the 3-letter language code in the field 377 in authorities, and the system librarian completes the rest of the subfields with the correct values. Finally, because our policies are constantly evolving, we make it a priority to keep everyone informed. We use internal members for immediate updates and circulate a monthly departmental newsletter summarizing key activities, changes in policy, and implementation progress. Now, when we launched our 3R initiative, we were mindful of our role within the broader international library community. As the National Library representing Greek civilization, our choices have international implications. With that responsibility in mind, we prioritize the internationalization of our approach, leveraging community-built infrastructures. The RDA registry, for example, offers multilingual labels for properties and vocabularies thanks to the efforts of dedicated translation volunteers. Similarly, the March 21 user community through the Advisor Committee actively evolves the format by proposing new fields and subfields. We stay aligned with these developments and integrate them when they support our cataloging policy. In the next slide, you will see how we leverage RDA's translated labels and URIs to serve both Greeks and international users, humans and machines alike. Let me change my pointer here, okay, to help you. This slide, which is actually a screenshot from our catalog, shows 2 entities related to the renowned Greek author Nikos Kazantzakis. On the left here, it's the person entity. Please notice that the 0 subfield here holds a persistent identifier which is automatically generated from the system through the 016 field. Now, this PID, this persistent identifier, follows the entity across the entire ILS, ensuring consistent linking between entities. It is also future-proof in an entity-based linked data environment because this structure will support robust connections, particularly when combined with a relationship designator in the 500 subfield 4, which you can see here. The URI included here provides machine-readable data, and it's also human-friendly. Non-Greek users can follow the link for contextual information. With the subfield I, which you can see here, We customize the RDA label for Greek-speaking users, clearly defining the entity's domain, which is here, and the range, which is after the dot here. On your right, you can see a record for one of Kazantzaki's works. Again, you can see the subfield 0. It's everywhere. It's here. And the 336 field, the A, gives a Greek language description, which is kymeno, which means text in English. This is for Greek for local users, while the remaining subfields offer standardized codes and terms supporting international interoperability. Another example of our commitment to the international dimension of our cataloging policy is the consistent use of transliteration for all new Greek names records. We have adopted both the ALA romanization tables and the ISO 843 standard, two of the most widely used standards across the world, ensuring compatibility with a broad range of libraries. Now, this decision serves multiple purposes. First, it enhances the reusability of our authority data across global catalogs. Second, it significantly improves clustering when our authority records are integrated into international vocabularies like VIAF. And of course, our aim is for the National Library of Greece to be the primary reference point for how Greek names should be transliterated. And perhaps more importantly, we view transliteration as a tool of cultural outreach. If language is one of the most powerful means of cultural exchange, then through accurate transliteration of Greek names and book titles, we are actively contributing to the global visibility and dissemination of Greek culture and heritage. And here you can see two more examples from our catalog, how a name is transliterated using the ALA rules and the ISO rules. The third and final example of our commitment to international aspect of our work with Greek entities concerns concepts. As we know, concepts, although not a part of the RDA entity model, are widely used in bibliographic data, especially in subject access. To support international accessibility, we apply the same internationalization policy here. Specifically, we include the corresponding English term as an additional access point within the authority record for the COSER. You can see it here in the 450 subfield A. And we do this by using the subfield 7 with the label ENG, which clearly indicates the language of the term. This ensures that both Greek and non-Greek users, as well as machine processes, can interpret and link these records effectively across systems. In the next few slides, I will attempt to summarize what we consider key achievements so far. First, we use RDA for authority and for bibliographic records for both cases. Also, we have established a regular quality control process for the entity's person, nomen, and concept. This ensures consistency, accuracy, and alignment with our cataloging policy. Only when a quality control is in place, we consider implementing a new entity and complete the process. And then when we create a fully RDA compliant record, we indicate this by using the RDA label. You can see here in the 040 subfield E. This designation is only applied when all aspects of the record strictly follow RDA rules. On your right, you can see some statistics showing the number of official RDA records created since the September 2022, when we went into productive mode with RDA. Now, let's turn to our achievements in training, both for staff at the National Library of Greece and catalogers across the country. We began by providing access to the RDA labs in 2021, laying the groundwork for familiarization with a new standard. Since then, the National Library of Greece has been covering the RDA Toolkit subscription for all academic libraries in country. And recognizing the importance of education, we extended this access to all 3 library information science schools in the country. I'm especially pleased to report that RDA, not Anglo-American cataloging rules, is now part of the ILS curricula in the country, and students are being trained directly using the RDA toolkit. At this point, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the RDA team and the ALA digital reference, who fully understood our goals and have supported us generously in implementing the use of RDA toolkit. Continue with our achievements in training. Hopefully by the end of the year, a paper co-authored with Effie and Sophia will be published. In it, we provide a detailed account of the two major training programs organized by the National Library of Greece. The first, as you can see in your screens, focused on preparing our in-house catalogers, while the second was developed in collaboration with faculty members who teach cataloging, aiming to support catalogers and librarians across the country. This slide outlines both courses along with a brief description of the modules included in each. Here you can see the modules for the first course, the internal training, and these are the modules that we run for the second course for the librarians and catalogers across the country. Another important milestone in our approach to training has been our ongoing effort to bring in expertise from the international library community. We are also seeing increased participation in Greek librarians in international working groups, fostering collaboration and knowledge exchange. Notably, in 2023, the National Library of Greece hosted the EURIC annual meeting. As well, in 2025, we hosted the IFLA Committee on Standards Symposium. And of course, we continue to welcome international experts through programs like the Erasmus+, strengthening our ties with the global cataloging community. Well, by now, I hope it's clear how much emphasis we placed on training, both synchronous and perhaps even more importantly, asynchronous. To support this, we created a freely accessible wiki that serves as a central hub for everything related to the National Library of Greece cataloging policy. Of course, it's available 24/7 to anyone. Now, this wiki provides both practical tools and foundational knowledge, offering explanations of key concepts like what is the LRM, what are the semantics of the bibliographic data, and what is WEMI. It also helps users understand and apply bibliographic relationships between entities, make it a valuable companion in daily cataloging work. Here you can see some information about this wiki, and here well, since the majority of our work with RDA is in a MARC-based environment, our wiki has been structured to reflect this workflow. It provides clear practical guidelines for cataloging its RDA entity within the MARC framework. At this stage, we want to start focusing on collective agents and try to finish the work and we'll try to complete the work we have been doing with aggregates and multi-volumes and multi-parts. This slide shows the basic structure of our wiki's layout, illustrating how we organize and present guidelines for each entity to support catalogers in their daily work. Now, this is a screenshot which presents an example of a wiki page for the entity person. You can see that here. While most of you may not read Greek, you can still observe the structure approach we use. I don't know how visible it is in your screens. The page is organized according to the MARC fields. You can see the tags here, offering a clear and consistent framework that guides catalogers through the cataloging process step by step. Here is another screenshot, and you can see this wiki page dedicated to the person entity, specifically focusing on cases where the first indicator in the 100 field is set to 0 or 1. Please notice that the MARC 21 arrow up here on the upper left corner, I don't know if it's visible, which links directly to the corresponding page in the Library of Congress documentation. The page includes a rich collection of examples that cover a wide range of scenarios for cataloging preferred names in the 100 field, offering practical guidance to catalogers. Simply, when the first indicator is 0, then it says the wiki look for examples here. And when this indicator is 1, then you can see many examples that cover many cases that the cataloger may face. Continuing on the same page, these are the guidelines related to the preferred name. Again, I know everything is in Greek, but bear with me, please. As you can see, we provide references to both internal and external resources, such as our own says. You can see here, this is something that is defined by our own string encoding scheme. But we say, well, if you want to read more about the preferred form of a name, then click here and you will be taken into the IFLAS name of persons. If you are brave enough to click the R icon you see here or here for the RDA, then you will be taken directly to the relevant rules in the toolkit, offering comprehensive information to deepen your understanding. Also, please note here on the right side of your screen that in several cases you can see our logo, which is this one, which means that this guideline is our own policy or our own process. Among our recent achievements, we are proud to include two distinct services developed over the past few years. The first is a prototype built on Wikibase, offering a promising pathway towards building fully entity-based cataloging systems grounded in linked data technologies. The second is a free online transliteration service available to anyone, which converts Greek names and small phrases like titles using the two transliteration standards mentioned before. The next two slides will showcase these tools with screenshots highlighting their features and potential impact. Now, this is the linked data system we developed, and what you see is the interface as it will happen. This is not the case just yet. This will be the interface after the current updates are completed. Our core goal was to present data in a way that is meaningful not only to machines but also to human users. At the top here, you can find some information that could be considered the main entry information, like the preferred name or the associated dates, but also you can find the signature, which is coming from Wikidata, from external vocabulary, or the photo of Kazantzakis, which we took from the wiki page. Now, on the left side here of the interface, we display the attributes specifically to this entity, while on the right side here, we display what you see is the relationships linking this entity to others in the system following an entity-based structure. If you look closely here under works, this section, you can see the various names the author has used. These are different names used by Kazantzakis. This is for the preferred name, but these are different names used by Kazantzakis. And you can see the works associated with its name. This display is driven by the relationships established between persons, work, and nomen entities. This is a screenshot of our transliteration service. The interface is intentionally simple and clean. Users enter Greek names or small phrases here on the left-hand box, and the system instantly provides two results on the right, one for each transliteration standard. I don't know how many of you have noticed, but in the title page, my own name was used as an example of transliteration using this tool. It's a free tool designed to support consistency in transliteration. Please feel free to share it with colleagues or anyone who may find it useful. Continuing with our achievements in developing tools to support our work, we have made significant customizations with our integrated library system. We have added functionalities that weren't originally available. For example, in the next slide, you will see how the system now auto-populates specific mark fields, saving time and improving consistency. Additionally, like many others, of course, we have already begun experimenting with artificial intelligence, and we have found some promising ways to enrich bibliographic data records using AI-generated data while maintaining consistency and quality. Hopefully, we will be able to share more concrete results on this work within the coming year. This slide shows what I mentioned before. It's a practical example of how we customize our ILS to simplify our work and ensure consistency. In this case, this is a Koha interface. Of course, when the cataloger creates a new person entity, as you can see, and begins typing the relationship designator, which is in this case is ergo, which means work in Greek, you see the system automatically recognizes the term and populates the remaining subfields with the correct standardized information. This not only saves time, of course, for our catalogers, but also reduces errors and ensures uniformity across our records. Now, looking ahead, we can say we have several priorities. First, we aim to complete the guidelines for all entities, including detailed quality control procedures. Once the updated version of our wiki-based system is live, we plan to upload and convert our authority records into RDA RDF, enhancing both their structure and visibility. We are also exploring innovative ways to use and present our data, both to enrich it by integrating external vocabularies and to bring this enriched information directly into our ILS environment. As the National Library of Greece, we remain committed to supporting the wider Greek library community, particularly in adopting emergency standards and technologies. Lastly, one of our key ambitions is to establish ourselves as the central reference point for all things Greek in the global bibliographic ecosystem, and we believe that our wiki-based platform will play a critical role in achieving that. I do hope I was on time. Thank you very, very much for your time. Thank you very much for your attention. And Sophia and I, we are here if you have any questions regarding this presentation.
Well, thank you so much, Michalis, for this very impressive
I know it was packed with information. Sorry for that. There was too much information included, but we had many things we wanted to showcase.
That's wonderful. And I forgot to say, this presentation as well, this will be recorded and will be published. So everybody can have a look at it afterwards. You can recommend it to colleagues. Our secretary will give a news announcement, and as it will be published, a news announcement on the RSC website, and the whole presentation will be visible on the YouTube channel afterwards. But thank you so much, Michalis, for letting us know about this huge project in such a, I think, short time. Your achievement
Yes, sure.
in such a short time. And I would like to open the floor for questions and comments. And as always, I ask first RSC members if you have questions or comments or some feedback from Michalis. Please. Yes, Elisa.
Thank you, Michalis, for this excellent presentation. I was very intrigued to hear your plans for training, and especially to hear about the support you've been providing for library and information science education programs. I was wondering if after today's meeting, it would be possible for me to reach out to you to chat a little bit more about RDA education in those courses, or if there might be someone else who would be more appropriate for me to get in touch with.
Please do so. I would be more than happy to assist in any way I can.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Charlie.
Thank you for that incredible presentation. Really appreciated it, and it's marvelous what you've gotten done, and to think with such a small team. I'm curious, you were talking about the training that you're giving externally. Are most of the libraries you've been training coming from AACR2, or are there other backgrounds that you've had to incorporate into that training to get them up to speed with LRM and RDA?
Thank you for your question. It's actually a mixed situation. Public libraries are, all of them are using Anglo-American cataloging rules. And one issue is that half of them are using Unimark as well. So it's not that easy for them to follow us. But for the academic librarians, and please, Sophia, correct me if I'm wrong, they are using the original RDA, but only for authorities. And they are using Anglo-American for their bibliographic records. So it's a mixed situation, and we are trying to push everyone to one specific direction. Please implement the official RDA. The next step for us would be to organize another session for every librarian, but this time focusing on simple everyday practices and examples. Just do that, because we started with a very, very, very theoretical context, and we ended up with a workshop, and now they are asking for workshops after workshops.
Yeah. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Further comments or questions from RSC members? Otherwise, I would like to invite the rest. If you have questions or comments for Michalis or for Sophia, who is here with us as well. She was member of the project team. Hi, Sophia. I'm ready to answer your questions. Is there anything you would like to know or you would like to add? Then please raise your virtual hand. Time being, I cannot see any further questions. Oh, here it is. Charlotte.
Apologies, I have another question.
Oh.
The training that you've given to date, has that been primarily on site in a location or online or a mix?
Okay, thank you for the question. The internal courses were all executed on a premises, in a physical personal way, but the ones for the catalogers across the country, they were all webinars recorded and they are available on YouTube as well, so anyone can revisit or see what we have done and maybe train from there.
Wonderful, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you for this presentation, and I was I'm intrigued, among other things, with the transliteration tool that did you create that at the National Library yourself, or is that? It looks like, I mean, I would think it'd be a very complicated thing to create. So,
I'm sorry, what was that?
The tool, the transliteration tool, is that did you create that yourselves?
Well, actually, this is interesting. This is an interesting story because that was done as part of a student thesis, a bachelor thesis, with the help and the guidance of Sophia. So it was the developer was a student that did this work as a thesis, and the instructions were given by Sophia.
Okay, so collaboration. Yeah.
If I may, about the transliteration service. So actually, it was a 3-month project. There was a student that wanted to find something original for his thesis, for his bachelor thesis. So we provided the rules. The main challenge was to find the characters with all the diacritics for ancient Greek. That was one challenge. And another challenge was that the romanization tables take under consideration the origin of a word. And due to copyright, we could not include any dictionaries. So we had to invent something in order to support also this rule. And after 3 months, we were able to do it. So please provide us feedback. We already get feedback from colleagues all over the world, and we are trying to make the tool better. Thank you.
I've been trying it out just now, and it looks great. I'm interested in the for modern Greek names, which I have to do in my own cataloging. It looks like the ISO transliteration that you have provided is probably more of a normal sort of a transliteration than the ALA romanization tables produce for modern Greek names. And so I was interested in that. That seems good. So
feel free to use it.
Yeah, and feedback seems to be welcome. Okay, Charlene, and then Ahava.
Yes, I remember I talked to Ahava. It's great to see the country with non-Latin script able to implement RDA because it's challenging. So I just want to let you know, I really feel encouraged, and I just shared that transliteration tool with my non-Latin script team, which they are very curious. So I just think this will be a great resource. Maybe we can put it in the community resource area. I think this is something, it's a great tool, which I think we should share more widely. So it's not a question, but it's a comment. Just say thank you for your presentation. And also thank you, Sophia.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and Ahava.
And I would like to agree with how great it is to see non-Latin script implementation. I saw that some of the codes were shortened words in English, like TXT and ENG. How did you decide when to use English language coding as opposed to using abbreviations of Greek words?
Sophia, would you like to take? Would you like that?
You mean about the concepts, Ahava, right?
Yeah, no, I saw in the 336 that you use the Greek word for text, but then
Yes,
TXT.
because some libraries, they told us that they use the ALA codes. So we had a little bit to combine. Some libraries, they use the ALA vocabulary, so they use the TXT, while other libraries prefer the RDA URIs, so they use the $1. So in order to serve them both, we decided to take a little bit of mixed approach, let's say.
Yeah. That's such a great compromise. Yeah, I love it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot once again, and as well for all the questions and the comments. And I can encourage everybody to have a look at the presentation, to have a look at the tools, and to give feedback. I think Michalis and Sophia and other colleagues will be more than happy to get some feedback about this. As I said, everything will be provided from the website and in the YouTube channel. So anytime you can have a look at this. Thanks a lot for being here at this late time, Michalis. It's nearly night time. Thanks a lot for being here, for joining. Thank you, Sophia, for joining us, for supporting. And everybody, I think, is very much impressed now about your implementation project in such a short time. And it's good that we could have an insight here. Thank you a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you for your invitation.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Greetings.